thought we defended at a really high level against a team that's really difficult to defend, coming off one of the best weeks in college basketball. You know, Georgia Tech coming off 2 huge wins, really playing well. And I thought our crowd was a big factor in helping us defensively.
Mike, what do you attribute the improved defense of this team this season?
We work on it a lot, of course. I think we've got good defensive players. I do. We did a lot of switching to try to help us with some of their actions that are difficult to guard, of course. And a guy like Russell comes to mind, and Frank, you know, with our five's ability to move laterally and guard on the perimeter a little bit, and some length from our wings, you know, big point guard and Silas Demery, guys that are able to switch on to bigger guys and hold their own, at least somewhat in the post. But overall, I think our guys are pretty locked into it, understanding that we can hang our hats on that and be pretty good there.
Coach, you were getting some really good looks from 3. They weren't going down early on. And Blue makes it one about 12-minute mark. It seemed like it sort of knocked the lid off a little bit. But
yeah, big shot.
Can you talk about, obviously, Blue's influence on this game, period, but
yeah,
getting the threes going?
Blue's confident. He lets it come to him sometimes to a fault, really, the way I look at it at least. But he's also got an ability to to attack closeouts. He's got a quick first step, and sometimes he's just he's out there just reading the game. But his confidence never wavers. Hits a lot of shots in practice. And this is a typical practice for him, you know, or an inter squad scrimmage or one of those where he goes 4-7 when he gets quality looks. I thought the ball moved pretty well for the most part. Our bigs did a good job of screening. I thought we did a good job of cutting. Justin Hill, I think, got a couple of those, made a couple of those passes to Blue off baseline out of bounds situations that, if I'm not mistaken again, that he was able to convert. So thought he gave us some confidence.
I think it was Blues' fourth 3, 7.5 minutes ago. They were on that 9-0 run, coming out of the timeout, and they looked like they missed a switch, but they were to pop it through after that, and that kind of let the air out of their sails just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Anytime you can stymie and run, you know, with a made 3 at home, and your crowd goes nuts. It's definitely help you spring back a little faster in transition defense and set your defense.
Coach, you mentioned the crowd a little bit. Have you noticed an improvement with the movement of the student section, and how does that affect your team?
You know, I really hadn't studied it much. And during the game, you know, you're locked into offense and defense and subs and all those type things. But I get a lot of comments from a lot of people that talk about the improvement, you know, in the adjustment and the buy-in, of course, from administration to be open to doing it. And it's helped with the environment in the place.
What does it say to go 3-1 against the ACC?
It's a great league. It's a great league. We were fortunate to be one of those teams that helped us tie it, you know, in the challenge. But 6 high majors already, you know, and to get even at 3-3 is nice. And beats the alternative, of course. It was a big win for us.
What did you make of how you guys rebounded tonight?
Thought we did a good job. Sometimes you talk about rebounding down and having 5 of your jerseys in the paint, you know, and when you look at film, if you've got 3 in there and you've got 2 guys looking for the outlet, that's not a good thing, right? We did that to a fault tonight, where we had a couple, maybe 3 or 4 bounce over our heads where we didn't quite check. We didn't quite sprint to our guy and at least make an effort to make contact, to buy ourselves a little bit of space. But I do like how we swarmed the ball, and our mentality was correct, but there's certainly some things we continue to clean up.
Was Deluxe available, or is he sick still? Or?
Sick. Yeah, he was sick. So he hadn't been around a lot, came today for shoot around. It was good to see him.
Another big game from Noah, just as a scorer. I mean, what are you continuing to see from him?
Leadership, confidence. Probably did a good job staying in front of the basketball too. In the second half, he was probably as sharp as anyone, just moving his feet, talking. Again, with all of the switching, he's a high level communicator. Hit some good in between game shots, you know, mid range shots there in the first half. he's a good player.
You guys led for almost the entire game and then led big for the majority of it. How much does that help when you guys really have command and control of the game?
You know, I don't know that we always did the right things down the stretch, especially in transition defense, you know, the last, say, 15 minutes of the game. But did enough, you know, and luckily kept converting to a certain extent offensively. But thought we did play with confidence, you know, and again, I thought our crowd helped us. And sometimes when you're in a good rhythm offensively and it's moving and it's going in and you're playing with that lead, you know, sometimes it can allow you to take too much of a deep breath defensively. But credit Georgia Tech to continue to play downhill and transition. And, you know, we did enough. Again, it was a good win against a good team.
And you guys had 4 scorers in double digits, and you guys really spread the wealth really well. What was it about today that just kind of everyone was involved?
14-9, you know, a move, 14-9 assist turnover. It's probably as good as we've had this year. We didn't see that a lot with last year's team. Just more capable, I think. We're a pretty skilled passing team, but Georgia Tech also does such a good job of defending the paint and in the interior, and they make you pass it. You know, so some of those assists we just kind of fell into. And obviously, the more shots you make, the more assists you get as a team.
How does Silas's presence affect your team on defense?
Length, you know, in size for his position, toughness, can really move his feet. He's competitive, and as a defensive rebounding point guard, he's got to be one of the better guys in that category in our league as a true freshman. He's really embraced that mentality to not have to look for an outlet if he goes and gets it. You know, he got a couple in traffic tonight that were impressive.
This is your first win over Tech as the UGA coach and the first over them since 2019. How important is it to you and your players to kind of retake the in-state rivalry bragging rights for at least a year?
Every game is really important to us. I know this one's important to a lot of fans, probably more so to certain fans than others. It's anyone in your region you want to try to beat, of course. You know, we'll embrace the rivalry too, you know, as much as our fans want us to, of course. But our next one's really important too. We play High Point. Florida State was big, Mercer was big. It's about development, getting better. But we respect their program, and they've got good players that run great stuff. And you know, hopefully we can play this well against some of these SEC teams that come in here at home.
Little bit of a break here, over a week before your next game. How big is that, considering the stretch y'all been on?
I think it's important for us. We need it, but we also can't get too far away from it. High Point's playing well, and we've got a lot of academic stuff that we've got to get done here. And, you know, so our focus has got to be correct. But mentally and physically, you know, to a certain extent, we've got to recharge and refresh so we can finish this homestand strong before we all head home for the holidays.
You have a really good record here. What is it about Stagnant? Kind of just you got the success you guys had?
It's a great place to play. Yeah, hopefully we can win a few more here.
Any other questions? Awesome.
Thanks, guys.